today I'm going to show you how to remove and reinstall a drive shaft. So first we have to take off the wheels. I'm going to be using an impact wrench and a 21mm socket. I'm going to untighten the bolts. Wait, no, actually let me start it. Using side cutting pliers, I'm going to remove the cotter pins. And there's one here too. And I'm going to be taking this one out too. I'm going to put a 32mm socket in an impact wrench to untighten the axle nut. Now using a 17mm socket, I'm going to untighten the ball joint. Now using a 3/8 wrench and a 10mm socket, I'm going to untighten these bolts here and here. I'm going to change this to loosen.
If you're buying something that will increase in value, if you're buying something that decreases in value, then we can do like this. Imagine you buying this car with the interest rate.
And now I'm going to loosen this side.
You're paying $10 or pay more? Pay more. You're going to end up paying something like $13,000 for this one car. You see what I'm saying? If you only have $5,000 in the bank, go for a $2,000 or $2,500 car. It is sidebar. Not with this. Make the money first. Make money first before you buy. Yeah. Taking a loan is fine as long as you're buying something that is increasing.
I'm going to untighten it with my hands.
This is going to increase in value over the course of the next, few years' time to pay back.
I'm going to use side cutting pliers again to take out the brackets on here.
So if there's a lot of these cars around and everybody wants them, it's not worth the money. That's a lifelong lesson. Hold more money and less. Right?
Now we can remove this, and this gave us access for it to move around. So now I'm going to use a fork and a hammer. So this is separating the lower ball joint from the lower control arm, and I'm going to hammer it till it separates. So now I have a pry bar because we almost separated it, but we have to stick the pry bar in here to separate it more. So I'm going to put the pry bar in. And now it's separated. So now I have to push the CV shaft out of the hub. So now we have to put a pan in because some transmission oil is going to leak when we remove the inner CV shaft from the transmission using the pry bar. Now that it's removed, I'm going to pull out the drive shaft. So now we're going to reinstall it. Now I'm reinstalling the drive shaft. So now someone's going to help me put the outer CV shaft into the hub. The joint in. Okay, so now I'm going to put everything back. Now I'm going to put the other side in. I'm tightening it with my hand first and then using the wrench, the socket. And
using a 1/4 inch wrench and socket that is 10 millimeters, I'm going to tighten this.
now I'm tightening the axle nut with my hand. And the ball joint too with my hand before torquing it. Now using an impact wrench, I'm going to switch it to tighten, and I added the 32 millimeter socket on it. Now I'm going to tighten the ball joint. So now I'm using a 1/2 inch drive torque extension, and someone's holding the brakes from inside of the car, so I can torque the axle nut to 140 foot-pounds. So now it's torqued, and I'm going to do the same for the ball joint using 80 foot-pounds torque and the right extension. To 80 foot-pounds so that we can do the ball joint. Now I set the torque extension to 85 foot-pounds and added on the right socket for this nut here. So now it clicked, and that means it's torqued. Here the holes align, and we can add a cotter pin inside. I'm going to use my hand to place it in and then use a side cutting pliers.
Yo, reckon it is the hardest one?
So now you can see it comes out from the other side, and we're going to fold it.
Now I'm going to add the wheels back on.
Screw them with our hands, and then we're going to use a 65 torque extension with an impact wrench to tighten them. So now I'm using a torque extension. I set it to 85 foot-pounds, and I'm using a 21 millimeter socket to torque these. I have to put the car down first and then torque it.
How much time we might
now we're going to torque it. I'm going to use a start pattern. When you hear a click, that means it's torqued.
Now we know Jesus is never going to buy a Mercedes or a BMW.
I want to get a new seat. You know what? I'm going to get
We got to change the wheels. But there's a tool you buy. It's a stud. It makes it easier to put up.
And now it's torqued, and that's how you remove and reinstall a drag shaft.